everyone, good morning. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, your daily dose of all the big buzzers in trade today. I'm Mubina Kapasi. Just take a look at the Nifty and we are back above 12,000, firmly above that level. Nifty, Sensex too has managed to conquer 40,000, I suppose, as we await who's got what portfolio in Modi's cabinet. The markets certainly have been rallying and how. But just before I, start the show off with the big moves and shakers, listen in to the management of IDBI Bank talking about the fourth quarter numbers, as the company posted a net loss of 4918 crore rupees. But there was an improvement in the overall asset quality. Here's Rakesh Sharma, MD and CEO, speaking to my colleague Neha Bothra.
So now basically if you see both liabilities and asset sides, why our so far interest income was low, because the 30% of the assets were NPS. So we are working on various strategies. Number one, this our treasury portfolio we have quite well reconciled. Our modified duration has come down, so treasury has been taken care of, and the yields are also now coming down, so that will be a positive factor. On the liabilities front, if you see our CASA, which has increased to almost 43%, so as a result our cost of deposits is also coming down. So this that will help, and my target is that to take CASA, to improve CASA to almost 45%. So that is helping in reducing the cost of deposits. Yield wise, like now of course we are growing more in retail, and these advances, the slippages are coming down. So those provisioning requirement on the further slippages will also come down. So that way, the cost reduction also we have done, and then the NPA recovery. So all these factors taken together, I think that will help us in bringing the back into profitability. If you see during the current quarter, our net interest income has increased substantially. YOY it has almost increased by 76%. Operating profit has also increased. Cost of deposits has come down. Net interest margin has improved from 1.88 last year to 2.03. So that way, overall parameters, although we are under loss, still I agree, but it is mainly because of higher provisioning or NPS and because of issues which we are facing. But overall, quarter on quarter performance is improving. So with that, I feel that by Q3 we should be in profit.
I hear you, sir, more so in light of the fact that your provision coverage ratio at present is about 82%, so one of the highest in the industry. But overall, as far as asset quality is concerned, you're very confident of being close to 6% in terms of net NPA by September. What gives you confidence, considering that, you reported a divergence this quarter? Can you take me through the factors that give you visibility on better asset quality in the coming quarters?
Now, the divergence part, I will like to say that it was matter of maybe 1 or 2 quarters only. RBI decided that those accounts should be classified as NPA as on 31st March. We classified somewhere in June or maybe in September. So overall, those accounts were, before we received RBI report, the accounts were already classified as NPA. Higher provision was made on those accounts. So that divergence is one part. But coming forward this year, we'll ensure that so no such divergence is reported. We have already identified and classified those accounts and NPA whichever was there.
Okay, that's the management of IDBI Bank talking about the Q4 numbers and what exactly transpired for IDBI Bank. All right, well, let's kickstart the show then by introducing Soumya Sharma, ET Now's research analyst. To talk about the technicals, we have with us ET Now's Kunal Bothra, and joining in is also Swati Hodkar of Nirmal Bang. So thanks to all of you for joining in. And of course, how can we not start the show by talking about the big rally seen in OMCs after crude prices took a sharp knock overnight. A 6% drop is what we witnessed in Brent, causing prices to tumble below $65 per barrel. The WTI too was trading last time I checked at approximately $56 per barrel. It is definitely at almost a 2-month low for crude prices. All of this as US now turns its attention away from China to Mexico, threatens to impose tariffs over there on all products, and will increase it if the entire illegal immigrant issue does not stop. There's also that smaller than expected US crude drawdown that was reported by EIA that further put pressure on crude prices. Take a look at HPCL at 324 rupees. This one is now perched at a 52-week high. OMC is up and away in trade. Kunal, in the same light, Gail too today is seeing a stellar performance, and it is in fact 0.5% higher. Your view here?
So yeah, 0.5% higher. The stock has been doing pretty well in the last 1 week. I think it's recovered from almost 335, 336 levels now 360 plus. It's on the verge of a breakout on the short to medium term charts. The way the stock has come back quite strongly. That 335 level acting as a strong support multiple times in the last 4-5 months. I think it's a sign that the stock could be breaking out pretty soon. So Gail could be a good buy at current levels. I would place a target on 375, 378 on Gail with a stop loss at 352.
So Kunal is certainly quite bullish on Gail at this juncture. Let's move on and talk about Ujjivan Financial. I think it's one of the best quarters we've seen in 2 years for this one, Soumya.
The net interest income for the bank grew at over 36% compared to the last year. It was supported by strong loan growth of over 18%. Even the asset quality trends showed some amount of improvement on a sequential basis. Even the NIMs were healthy and stable on a QoQ basis. In fact, for FY20 guidance, Ujjivan has said that the loan book would grow at 35 to 40%, with micro banking book growing at approximately 25%, and the NIMs for the small finance bank would be at 10.5% in the current tough environment surrounding the entire banking and finance space.
Okay, well, this one is certainly a buzzer today, trade 2.5% higher. Swati, of course, along with these NBFCs, we're also seeing great traction in TCS. It's the third day that we are seeing a nice uptick here, making its way towards 2200. Your view?
Bobina rightly said, TCS is really performing very well. It's just well placed above its 20 days moving average. Also the fact that it is just trading in the higher tops and higher bottom formation. Looking towards today's momentum or the rally from the last few days, I probably like that probably it will retest its new 52-week high, which might comes down towards 2270 once again. So at the current level, those who are having definitely long positions, they can hold on with a trailing stop loss of 2120, which comes with the support provided by its 20 days moving average. I believe the target we are looking for in the coming 2 to 3 days will be at 2240 and 2270 on the upside.
All right, that's the recommendation then coming in on a TCS, certainly a strong chart seen over there. Just Dial to a similar momentum seen, well, not similar, but definitely it's been surging to a larger extent after cooling off a tad bit, just about last week. It's once again resumed its uptick towards that 760, 770 mark, and yes, it's higher by 2.6%. I think adding to this uptick is also the fact that we are seeing now funds buy into the counter. EM Sadan Equity Index Fund has actually purchased around 3.5 lakh shares of Just Dial, and that too is giving this stock price a boost today. Kunal, we've been talking about NBFCs and how they've been buzzing. What are you observing in Can Fin Homes?
It's an excellent chart, Mubina, because when I look at the prospects on the daily, the hourly time frame, I think it's one of the NBFC stocks which managed to rally first. It did not correct as many of the NBFCs did. When there was a period of very strong and wild correction to many of these names, and it was one of the first ones to spring up back quite strongly. Now at 360 plus levels, I think it's also given a strong bullish pennant and a flag combination breakout. I think it's a very strong breakout if you look at it on the hourly charts because of the setup of volumes and the indicators as well. So I think Can Fin Homes could be a good buy at current levels. Would place a positional target of almost 395 to 400 and a stop loss to be kept at 343.
Okay, that's the recommendation then coming in on a Can Fin Homes, 1.4% higher. Soumya, of course, can't get your eyes off NCC because despite the markets being very strong, this one has taken a beating on the back of some news.
Yes, this is the new Andhra Pradesh government, which has been recently appointed, is looking at cancelling earlier awarded contracts. In fact, they have instructed all the departments to halt the works immediately. In fact, the Chief Secretary was saying, saying that it is noted that a number of engineering works were sanctioned earlier, even by relaxation of FRBM norms, resulting in huge burden on the state exchequer. So there is also a case for a thorough revision of ongoing projects as priorities have not been followed. As a result, the stocks tumbling down today and trade down by about 13.8%, falls most in 7 years.
Okay, so that's of course NCC for you. It's 13% down now. Swati, FMCG stocks are getting a nice leg up today in trade. Your view on Godrej Consumer?
The overall Godrej Consumer Product, this particular stock was not performing from last few trading sessions. The daily chart indicates that the line chart indicates that the stock has just formed an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and it has given a today breakout of 680 levels. The volumes are the concern over here, but definitely price movement we have seen in this particular counter. Also the fact that it is just trading above its 50 days moving average. If it's today managed to give a closing above that level, then this rally is likely to be extended towards 700 levels. I believe one can take a long positions at the current level for a target of 700 rupees with an immediate stop loss of the 670 levels on the downside.
All right, that's Godrej Consumer. In fact, it's at the day's high as we speak. Apollo Hospitals too is seeing kind of quite an uptick today in trade. It's 4% higher, and this after brokerages seem to be quite optimistic on the company from year on. Remember, delivered its fourth quarter numbers yesterday, and today Credit Suisse has maintained an outperform stance with a target at 1300 rupees, as they believe that it was a great quarter with all-round improvement. Macquarie too has an outperform, and their target price is 1380 rupees from the current 1250 rupees. So significant room for upside according to them, and it's 4% higher in trade today. Kunal, we've been talking about FMCG stocks, and Tata Global too features on the list of the big movers.
So I think post that news which came out in Tata Global, I think a couple of weeks back, the stock, just about changed its, downward drift, downward trend quite remarkably. And post, a certain, days of rally, strong price action, we generally expect the prices to consolidate, and that's what it's been doing since last 1 week or 1.5 weeks. Post that 2 days of rally. So now I believe that the stock should be poised for, a classic setup, breakout on the upside. The volumes, the indicators, and way the stock has just about changed its trend, a couple of weeks back. I think that itself indicates that the stock should be rallying even from current levels. So I would, recommend a buy on Tata Globals at current levels, and if the stock, comes back to that consolidation, bottom of 235, I think that is where traders could look to average. Targets of 255 to 260 on Tata Global, and stop us at 225.
Okay, there you have it. That is Tata Global for you. Samya, Coal India today is buzzing in trade. How were the numbers?
Well, Coal India reported a really good set of numbers, surpassed the expectations of the street. On the revenue front, we saw a growth of over 7.5%. PAT surged by over 362.5% on a YOY basis, led by strong volume growth and supported by higher prices. Even on the EBITDA margins front, robust FSA realizations helped the company improve its margins from 0.7% to 28.8%. So, really good set of numbers reported by Coal India.
All right, yes, it certainly was a good set of numbers, and I think what was impressive was also the way the FSA segment performed. Great rise in volumes, realizations too rose significantly, and that I think has totally lifted the numbers overall. E-auction part of the business was a bit subdued. All right, from Coal India and on to another NBFC, L&T Finance. All of these names have been buzzing. Swati, if we have to pick out L&T Finance, what's your view here?
Yeah, Mubina, the overall view was the cautious. From the last few months, we have seen that it just was trading under the selling pressure. But 2 weeks back, we have seen that the stock has given a strong bounce back rally from 113, 114 levels towards 137. Now, as of now, it is currently facing a very strong resistance of its 50 and 100-day moving average, which comes to at 138 levels. If it manages to give a breakout level, then only it will touch its 200-day moving average, which comes to at around 148, 150 levels. So I will give a buy call only above, one can take a buy call only above 138 breakout levels with a stop loss of a 134 for immediate target of a 148 to 150 levels on the upside.
High above 138 and a target of 150 is what Swati is watching out for L&T Finance. Take a look at HDIL. The numbers were out yesterday just in the fag end of the market hours, and it wasn't a good set. I mean, that's evidenced by the continued stock price reaction seen in today's trading session as well. We had a revenue figure that declined around 28.2%, and the profits too came in falling approximately 11% in trade. So all in all, numbers were not good, and you are seeing the stock price continue to fall. It's another 4% gone at 22.5 rupees. Soumya, today Alchem Laboratories, after delivering its fourth quarter numbers, is quite steady in trade.
Well, yes, in fact, it's on a positive note coming from Nomura, where they say that management commentary suggests a positive and improved outlook, and they see revenue growth with expansion in EBITDA margins. As a result of this, they've lifted their 12-month, they've upgraded the stock to buy, and also have lifted their 12-month target price to 2,230 rupees. Well, they are really optimistic when it comes to the company's outlook going forward, stock gaining by over 1.35%.
All right, yes, 1.5% higher for Alembic Labs. But of course, today is a very important cabinet meet as well. It's going to be the first one at 5:30 p.m. And this is going to be with the new team that Prime Minister Modi has handpicked to rule the country for the next 5 years. Some names like Amit Shah featured, and of course even Smriti Irani, Arvind Sawant were some of the new names that were included. Ruchi Bhatia is going to be tracking this meeting this evening, and she joins in now with more. Ruchi, what is on the agenda? It's going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be the first cabinet meeting as well.
Absolutely. This is going to be the first cabinet meeting. In just a few moments from now, we are expecting that the cabinet secretariat will be releasing the list of who gets which portfolio. Speculation is rife that India's next finance minister could be Amit Shah, but we're yet to hear formally from the government on the same. It of course needs to be seen that today in the evening at 5:30, Prime Minister Modi will be meeting his cabinet once again. This is Cabinet 2.0. And they will be charting out the path for the next 100 days. This is going to be the first meeting, so to say, after yesterday the Council of Ministers and the Cabinet Ministers took the oath of office and secrecy. This is going to be an all-important meeting to really know what is the vision of the government over the next 100 days. We understand that various ministries have been working for some time to figure out what will be the key issues that the government would want to push. We are given to understand that some of the key reforms like the passage of labor code is something that could be done by the government very soon, maybe just in the monsoon session. So a whole host of things that are already planned. The government also wants to walk the talk on how to pump prime the economy. So a whole host of things that will be looked at over the next 100 days. But today is going to be the first meeting of the cabinet at 5:30 p.m. In the evening at South Block. We at ET Now will be keeping you abreast of all the developments from here. But the big portfolio, Mubina, let me tell you, that will be washed out will be the finance portfolio. Amit Shah has been credited for the increase in membership for BJP as well. He has tremendous organizational skills. He at one point of time held 12 portfolios in the Gujarat government. So needs to be seen if he comes as the finance minister, how will the stakeholders be taking it? The initial reactions from just the buzz have been very positive. So people are saying that he is somebody who has a hang of things, who knows how the markets function, how the investors think, and that would come in handy if he gets the finance portfolio. Of course, the big challenges would be how to pump prime the economy at a time of slowdown, whether more fund infusion in PSU banks is needed or not. This evening we'll also be getting the final GDP numbers as well for the year. So important things that are lined up. It's of course going to be a very heavy Friday for all of us, let me tell you.
That it will be, and ever since Amit Shah's name has been floating around, everyone's just been digging up his resume to see all the achievements. An interesting one, of course, is that he's been also credited for turning around a small cooperative bank in Ahmedabad. So I think that's pretty impressive as well. Ruchi, thank you for that. It's a busy Friday evening, and you've got to stay tuned to ET Now, India's #1 business news channel. Quick break right here on the show. Back, you're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. Let's continue with the countdown then and take a look at Asian Paints. The stock price has certainly risen, and how that along with Berger Paints have seen quite an uptick come by in trade. In fact, both of them at the day's high. In particular, on a flag of Berger Paints, I'll just request my producer to shoot that stock as well. In fact, it's almost up 8% the last time I checked. I don't know when was the last time we saw this sort of a rise come by in the stock. But yeah, with a massive fall seen in crude prices and almost 30 to 40% of their raw material basket comprising crude derivatives, they certainly do stand to benefit. So yes, a massive rise seen. Berger, of course, did have its numbers as well that were delivered yesterday, so that too aiding the company. Soumya, on the flip side, Jain Irrigation, massive fall seen over there.
Yes, and this is on back of the negative results that the company posted. On the profit line, there was sharp downfall of over 39.4%. Even on the revenues were down by over 6% for this quarter compared to the last year. So really bad set of numbers. The street reacting to the negative set of numbers that the company posted, down by over 9%.
All right, well, yeah, Jain Irrigation is now tanking 9%, sub even 50 rupees today in trade. You know, Swati, while the market seems to be very optimistic, it's interesting to see that the metal stocks continue to fall. It's now Vedanta that slumped to the day's low, 2% down. What are you witnessing in the way the chart's moving today?
She correctly said overall the metal counters are definitely not performing very well, even those kinds of a market also. VDL perfectly on the VDL as such, the stock is really performing not very well. It's facing a strong resistance of 50 days and 100-day moving average. Also the fact that it is just trading in the pattern of lower tops, lower bottoms, which indicates a very cautious view at the current levels. As of now, 160 is the immediate support level. Once it's give a breakdown of that level, I believe that the stock might drag towards 150 as well. So one can take a short call at the current levels or say the below 160 with a stop loss of a 165 for immediate target of a 150.
Okay, 2% gone now for Vedanta, just about holding on to 160. But on that note, we're out of time. So Swati and Kunal, thank you for joining in, sharing in your technical strategies. And thank you, Soumya, to you too. We'll wrap it up and stay tuned to ET now. We're just about waiting by for the portfolio announcements. This is something that you want to keep your eyes out on. Thank you for watching.